Welcome back into another episode of Hefe's Cabin. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. But we're going to go ahead and get right into today's episode. We got the Monday Night Football review on up first, followed by some Thursday night preview action. We also got a new segment on this one with the NFL News Roundup, as well as the Monday Night Raw review and the SmackDown preview for this week as well. So let's go ahead and get right into it for you guys. On the Monday Night Football review, we had the two matchups this Monday night. We got blessed with two matchups. First up, we had the Jets and the Dolphins. Darren Waller, he made his NFL season debut. He grabbed only three passes for 27 yards, but he made all three of those catches count for sure. At least two of them because he got two touchdown catches um, to help lift the Dolphins to their first win of the NFL season, 27-21. Advancing themselves to 1-3. However, that one win did come with a huge price tag as Tyreek Hill, their wide receiver, has a dislocated knee, and he will be out for the remainder of the season. Justin Fields and the Jets have now dropped to 0-4. Three of which of those games, though, they did lose only within a touchdown. Justin Fields in this game threw for 226 yards, one touchdown pass, and he ran for a TD as well. I'm sorry, he ran seven times, 81 yards, and that touchdown as well. But it wasn't enough to get the job done. Next up, he'll try his luck against the Dallas Cowboys, while Tua and the Dolphins will look to win their second game of the season versus the Carolina Panthers next week. Into the second Monday Night Football game, we had the Cincinnati Bengals at the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix and the Broncos had their way with the Burrow-less Bengals. I'm sorry. Bo had 326 yards for two touchdowns, one interception. He also ran for the game's first touchdown, but it was J.K. Dobbins on the ground who actually had that day with 16 carries for 101 yards. He unfortunately did not get a touchdown, but they will look to continue this dominant fashion when they head to the defending Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, next week. As for the Bengals, though, man, they got a lot of things to work out. That quarterback, Jake Browning, he has not looked good. He has looked absolutely terrible in these last two starts. And Joe Burrow's injury, they've now dropped the last two games, moving them to 2-2 on the season. And they've got to address this issue at quarterback as they're going to try and continue to compete without Joe Burrow, especially the way this season is going for the Ravens and the Steelers, who at times they look good, at times they look bad. This could be the season for the Bengals, but they need to look at trading possibly for the likes of Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, maybe Jameis Winston, but anybody but Jake, man. They have a matchup next week against Detroit Lions, and with Browning under center for that, I mean the Detroit Lions defense should have a field day. They might even get shut out in that game, to be honest with you. I mean, I know they have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but Jake Browning has just not looked like an NFL quarterback at all whatsoever. It might be time to throw his backup in. I mean, something's got to give in Cincinnati, but we'll get into that later on in the week. That's all I got for those two Monday night games. We had the Dolphins picking up their first win, and we also had Denver getting their second win of the season. So we'll see what's next for those franchises. Into some Thursday night football action, though. We do have a huge matchup this week with the 49ers at 3-1 and the Rams at 3-1 in a three-way tie in that division with a lot on the line early in this matchup on Thursday night football. The 49ers will be, unfortunately, without their quarterback, Brock Purdy. He's been officially ruled out of this matchup. However, Mac Jones is no stranger to stepping in for Brock Purdy this season, as he's already stepped in twice and won both of those games against the Saints and the Cardinals. However, this time he'll have to do it against a well-led Matthew Stafford Rams. This will be Mac Jones's first career start versus the Rams. However, he has played a couple games on Thursday Night Football in which he is 1-2 in, but he has not played on Thursday Night Football since 2022. On the other side of this spectrum, we do have the Rams that are coming off a good start to the season as well, with wide receiver Puka Nakua lighting up the field with 90 plus receiving yards in each of the first four games of the season. Matthew Stafford has an 11 and 23 record all time versus the 49ers. Stafford has won the last two meetings, sweeping the 49ers last season. And the Rams have also won the last three this team. So that is all definitely for sure. Um, my best bet in this matchup for the Thursday night game is Puka Nakua going over that 95.5 receiving yards. As I said before, it's hard to look past a guy that's had 90 plus receiving yards in all four games. He's hit this number in three out of four of the games, and in three of the games, he's hit over 100 yards. Um, in one game, I believe he only had 91 yards in the second game of the season, but other than that, he's had over 100 yards a game. It's hard to look past that 95.5 as my best bet. I know this is a divisional matchup and it will be rough and tough because it is also a Thursday night football game, but it's just almost hard to look past. I mean, you could take it down to 80 yards, but Puka Nakua is obviously his favorite target. He's obviously getting the job done, and it's obviously impossible to guard this man. So good luck to the 49ers. Um, as far as a winner in this matchup, though, it it is it's hard to say who I could see exactly coming out of this matchup. Um, I mean, like I said, Mac Jones when he has stepped in for Brock Purdy this season already, he has definitely shown us that he can get the job done with those two wins. However, those two wins didn't come against dominant franchises. They kind of came against a lackluster Saints team and a Cardinals team that I mean they haven't been playing too bad this season, obviously, as they are up there in the division as well. I'm sorry, they're not up there in the division. They've only won one game, but they're not doing too well. But they have been playing really tough football this season. The Rams are favored in this matchup by 7 points, and the over and unders at 45.5. I'm not sure if that total will hit. The under might be a look. As far as the spread, though, man, it's hard to not take that +7. I believe this could be a field goal game, regardless of the winner. So that +7, in my opinion, is definitely a hard look. I'm not saying the 49ers will win this matchup, but they will play tough with Mac Jones in under center. But I do believe the Rams could win this game, and I believe it could be a field goal game. So that +7 under is a good bet. But my best bet for sure though is that Puka Nacua bet. Take that for sure, 100%, no doubt. Into some NFL news, though, man. We got Jaden Daniels. He's set to make his return after a two-game absence against the Chargers this week, man. Jaden Daniels seems to be set, ready to go. He did practice this week, so good news for all the Commanders fans who unfortunately lost that game against the Atlanta Falcons. That was huge, and might come back to bite them later on in the season. But they get a huge boost this week. The Chargers, they lost last week to the Jackson Dart-led Giants in his first career start and his first career win against a huge dominant team that started 3-0. So the Chargers are definitely going to be looking to bounce back, and Jaden Daniels and the Commanders as well will be looking to bounce back. So we'll see who can get the job done. Also, we have the Cleveland Browns. They have decided to go ahead and bench Joe Flacco for rookie quarterback. Unfortunately, not Shador Sanders. Rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel will get the quarterback head one nod. And unfortunately, Joe Flacco will still be his number two backup, while Shador Sanders is still listed as quarterback number three. And he gave the media absolute silent treatment. So we know how Shador feels internally about this. He is not happy. And we'll see what happens next for Shador Sanders. Um, Maybe the Browns might want to look at him too. That could be a possibility. And then another possibility about somebody possibly getting traded, man. The Eagles, AJ Brown, wide receiver. There's been a lot of cryptic tweets, a lot of cryptic things. I know he said it's nothing in the media, but man, we all know, you got to put on for the media because you don't want to really let people know what's going on internally. You want to kind of leave that to where it is, and then when the trade happens, we're all like, "Oh, we already knew this was going to happen," blah 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 blah. But as far as AJ Brown getting traded from the Eagles, it's kind of hard to see him getting traded, but at the same time, it's also kind of hard not to see him getting traded. He hasn't really done much this season for him, and there's been times in his career that he just doesn't look happy there. But who knows, man? Winning Super Bowls definitely makes a man happy. So if he continues to win those, the sky's the limit. Lamar Jackson, he sat out of practice on Wednesday with that hamstring injury. Backup quarterback Cooper Rush, former Dallas Cowboys backup, could be getting the start this week. So that is definitely something to monitor. Lamar Jackson had to sit out the rest of the game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs, and Cooper Rush did get in. Didn't look too great, so we'll have to see what happens, this week coming up. Speaking of quarterbacks, quarterback J.J. McCarthy is in the next phase of his rehab. But his ankle is still not fully healed, however. So it sounds like Carson Wentz will once again get the nod when they play this week against the Cleveland Browns in London. Tyreek Hill also is now unfortunately joining the IR list with his torn ligaments and his dislocated knee. At 31 years old, only one can start to begin about his career and is it time for him to unfortunately retire? I would love to see Tyreek Hill's revenge tour, to be honest with you. 31 is still young in my opinion. Um, but obviously for football age, it's old. But, you know, it all is going to depend on his rehab and his will to get back. So prayers up to Tyreek Hill, and we hope to see you back on the season, on the field next season. So we'll see what happens and continue to monitor that situation. And speaking of wide receivers as well, that we'll continue to monitor, and prayers up to him as well, is Malik Neighbors, who tore his ACL and is officially out for the season. So as I said before, prayers up to Malik Neighbors. Unfortunate second year wideout for the New York Giants. He's looked absolutely upset, obsessional for this franchise. He's put up numbers. He's done everything he needed to do. Six different quarterbacks in, and he's just put up numbers time and time again. So it's unfortunate that Neighbors has to go down, but he'll get to watch from the sidelines. He'll get to learn some things, and we'll see how this rehab goes and how his return to the field and his revenge tour for himself will be as well. As far as quarterback Jackson Dart, though, man, what will this mean for him? It's going to mean a lot of receivers are going to have to step up. We saw Jackson Dart step up with his legs last week as he took the ball in for the touchdown. But it's more than that. Other teams are going to have to. Other receivers are going to have to step up as well now that the number one is down. So we'll have to see what other guys do as well. And then two other things, man. We got three teams that have not picked up a win in the NFL yet: the Saints, Jets, and Titans. When will they pick up that first win? Very questionable. Who will pick up the first win? In my opinion, I think it should be the Jets. The Jets, in my opinion, shouldn't be 0-4. They should have won at least a game by now. It's very unfortunate that they're sitting in this list. They have a tough matchup, or an interesting matchup, I should say. Not really a tough matchup this coming week with the Cowboys. So we'll see what happens there. As far as the Titans and Saints, man, the Saints, I just don't see anything getting going there. Titans, same thing. Rookie quarterback Cam Ward has not looked that impressive in my opinion. So we'll see what goes on with those guys and all those franchises and who can pick up that very first NFL win. As far as two other franchises, though, and two franchises that could very well be in the Super Bowl this year, we have the Eagles and the Bills, both at 4-0. They do play each other later on this season, so if they are undefeated at that time, one team will have to lose. Or we could get a tie like we did in the Green Bay and Dallas game. We'll just have to see what happens, and we'll have to go from there. But that is all I have for you guys for my NFL section. So I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button down below. I'll hit you guys with some more content later on this week. But for all my WWE fans that came down to the end of this section just for this very bit, we are getting ready to get right into it. I appreciate everybody that has come in, but make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, and we gonna go ahead and get right into Monday Night Raw review that kicked off with none other than Rhea Ripley. She came out, cut a promo that led to Io Sky coming out. She cut a little promo herself that led to Asuka and Kairi Sane appearing on the Titantron. Io Sky would eventually leave the ring, and then from behind, Rhea Ripley would get attacked by both Asuka and Kairi. Io would think about it, but she would eventually come back in and unfortunately get misted by the Kabuki Warriors. And then Asuka and Kairi would stand tall. After this, we do get our first match, and it is a huge title match between Rusev and Dominik Mysterio for the Intercontinental Champion. Winner and still champion is Dominik Mysterio, but not without Dom, of course, playing a little dirty. As the ref had his back turned, Dom did hit the low blow on Rusev for that victory. In the next matchup on Monday Night Raw, we had Bayley and Raquel Rodriguez in action. The winner of this matchup was Raquel Rodriguez getting a little revenge for her tag team partner from last week. After the match, they did try and attack Bayley. However, Lyra Valkyria did run down to help Bayley. She took both women out, and Bayley and her had a little weird interaction. Bayley is acting very strange. Can't wait to see where this leads. LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston was up next. There was a backstage segment earlier in the night that led to this matchup. The winner of the match was LA Knight. After that, we had Seth Rollins in the ring cutting a promo that led to Cody Rhodes coming out as well, going back and forth with their promos. After this, we had a match between with AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americanos. The winner of this matchup was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. And then we got a main event of a huge tornado tag match between Jey Uso versus Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed. The winners of this matchup was Jimmy and Jey Uso, but Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, the OTC, has returned to the WWE with a steel chair, taking Braun and Bronson out and helping the Usos pick up this victory. After the match, there was some celebrations going on, but it was primarily between Roman and Jay. You could see Jimmy in the background a little upset about things, so I'm very curious to see where this leads. We already know Jimmy has a little something going on with LA Knight, and we already know Jay does not like LA Knight. Roman, I'm sure, does not like LA Knight, so I'm curious to see if we get an LA Knight and Jimmy versus Roman and Jay somewhere down the line. Um, you know, who knows? If you heard it, if you see it, just know you heard it here first. But that was all for Monday Night Raw. So we're going to go ahead and get right into Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown right now only really has one thing confirmed, which is a huge tag team match in itself. Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton versus The Vision, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. After the promo between Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes on Monday Night Raw, Seth is sending his goons over to SmackDown to take on Cody and Randy. So that'll definitely be a great main event. The Street Profits last week did claim the number one contenders for the tag team titles, so I'm sure we'll hear from them this week. Sami Zayn has been issuing a lot of open challenges recently, so hopefully we get one of those on SmackDown. Jacob Fatu returned last week, took down Drew McIntyre. Can't wait to see Jacob Fatu this week. Tiffany Stratton and Stephanie Valkyrie, I'm sure they will both be there as well. And I'm sure we will also be hearing from Solo Sikoa on SmackDown. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens this Friday night. I'll make sure to hit you guys with a review of that. Also followed with some NFL action for this Sunday as well. We also have a great matchup in London, so be on the lookout for all of that and more. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button down below. I'll see you guys later on. Thanks for stopping by in the cabin, and until next time.